to rally the masses to get them to attack somebody. I can admit why I did it, to be a dick. Because sometimes when you don't like somebody, you want to absorb, this must be right, because we kind of categorize it with emotions, how we feel. And sometimes how we feel isn't right. Who we hear it from isn't the people that we should be, taking their word 100% of the way. For instance, was pretty lame, honestly. If we're going to be honest about it, people gave her an opportunity to get close. There's been many other people that has given her opportunity after opportunity after opportunity that she keeps fucking up to be included, but she keeps getting greedy, and she keeps wanting to cause division, and she keeps wanting to pit people against each other and make them fight. And she uses tactics like, feel bad for me, then let me, trigger you and make you feel bad for me, and then you're gonna do something to somebody else with the idea that you're helping. And that's wrong. If we're being realistic, if Miss Sunshine was somebody that should be universally listened to, she wouldn't be on the same side of TikTok as all of us. She would be something on TikTok fucking around.
Can you mod me? That person can be muted.
Yeah, sir. Hey, Rim, how are you? So, it's important that when people are talking, that you're not prevented or told to not go talk to the other people involved, that you're not, discouraged from doing independent research on Google. Because when you learn, it's a slow process. You have to fact check everything. You have to read about this and read about that and read about this, and you even have to consume opinions that are wrong to be able to put them to contrast with what's right, and then come to your decision. Because not everything's, answer A or answer B. There are context situations that make certain things what they are. If you look at the way any state's law statute is written, you'll see that it's not just one simple little line that says, if you do this, you're fucked. It has the number, and then it has the 0.01, 0.02, and then A, B, C under each one of them for context. When you do research, you have to look past the first result. You can't listen to the loudest one in the room. You can't listen to the most charismatic person in the room. And you can't listen to the one that's like beat down and like the most helpless person in the room either. Because those are all the people that everybody wants to listen to. They want to listen to the most helpless person in the room, which is what Sunshine claimed to be, because they want to help. And that triggers an emotional response to do anything to help that person. When we all know she's not helpless. It's wild for her to try to play victim. So after you look past the first result on Google, you listen to people, exciting. It triggers something in you to where it's interesting because the truth is boring. So it's easier to accept incorrect information than it is to accept the truth. Plus, to get truth, you have to do a ton of research. That whenever there's an argument on TikTok between two people, it becomes an argument on TikTok between one person and 500 people. Because the person that knows that they're correct doesn't feel the need to solidify that by recruiting an army to attack with lies, harmful rhetoric, and to have other people attack them. When people have people attacked, you have a suit that makes people believe it's true. But they're not true just because they're repeated, or because they're emotional, or because they're viral. They become reliable through verification. Verification is a big one. Everybody always says show receipts. Great. Even though that's only the first step. Showing receipts is not a concrete fact. You can speak and show your receipt, but that's not the end of it. That's all anybody can do to put the information out there. What everyone else has to do is, if they want to have an opinion on it that's valid and that adds value to the conversation, they then have to fact check the receipts versus the claims. And sometimes the vast majority of people on this app that hate me have never had a conversation with me. Same goes for Mittens. I didn't ask Mittens. I can just safely assume. Am I correct?
Yeah.
I can assume for Karma. I can assume for Mallory. And I can assume for Mallory because I never had a conversation with her, and I was her first biggest hater. So that's fact. I never had a conversation with her to even attempt to resolve any issues that we may have had. Megan's another one that people just love to hate. And we can all take an approach wrong. I've taken my approach wrong with Megan. The approach that I took with her was, it doesn't inherently mean that it's wrong, but it does mean that you can't force that onto other people. You can't go by and say Bougie's an asshole and then show no credible evidence as to why you said that and expect and demand that everybody follow suit with you, because that is not how that works. So when after somebody, you have to ask why. You have to go look at both sides. Is one side inviting conversation by saying, we don't need to be on two separate lives, come on over, we'll talk? And is the other side saying, well, no, I'm good over here, fuck that? That's a big red flag too. The side that wants no contact with the person they're having a conflict with is wrong. People who deliver messages, they're framing it in the wrong negatives to perpetuate the hatred that they're trying to spread against that person. Every time you see a live where it says fuck Bougie, where are the diversified opinions? Not allowed to speak out 100% of the time. Every time you see a live that says fuck Snark, the diversified opinions are blocked because they want people to remain silent. So they don't have to have any kind of opposing opinions that could take away from the narrative that they're trying to spin. Have you ever seen a live where they're like, Bougie did this outrageous thing, I don't know, drove to Petty's house and took a picture, where everybody else was just taking a piece of paper out of context and trying to push it off as their version of the truth, where I sat and argued for 4.5 hours about how it was impossible, and here's the proof. She might be busy, but if she is, it's okay. This is a pro Bougie live. The Bougie did not actually spoil the milk that I left out overnight. That was a joke. There's some thought process and thought behaviors that we should all probably practice. And judging claims by how they make us feel, that's one of them that we have to watch. When we do that, it's much faster than the slower process of evidence-based learning and research. So you might see a post and it already kind of flatters an ideology that you already have. And it's really prominent on this side of TikTok when you see like a post that's anti-Mallory and you already have it in your head that you're anti-Mallory, you're already going to be engaged in that post. You might want to set that aside and look at the content. Look at how it's presented. Look at, is it just a 5-second clip? Did she misspeak? Is she not allowed to speak? Then you speak. Then you look at the thousands of videos out there, the hundreds of accounts out there that are that exact account, because they are using that anger, that fear, that, that mentality to gain followers and gain views, because they feel like all the clicks and all the comments and all the likes and all the reposts are validating their claim, and in their own mind, they feel like they're correct. But it's dangerous, because then you get the people that are radicalized. You get the people that want to make an impression on the other people to be the next person that gets that big reaction, and they start doing more and more dangerous and just harmful shit to get that reaction, while being provoked to do so by the other people that are there that would enjoy it. On any social platform, biases collide. And that's important. They collide with group polarization, meaning I feel this way harshly. Someone else feels that way harshly, so now I have to disagree with them to the point where I'm going to. So when they do that, you get an idea. We've all gotten an idea, like, what if the sky was yellow? And when you become so extreme and get around 200 other people that also have the idea that the sky is yellow, you then start to make those people act as if the sky was yellow by doing things like, I'm under an FBI investigation and it's this person's fault and I'm out of luck. Who wants to report this person to the FBI? And this